In fact, he has, in one occasion, thrown up his hands on air and says that there is nothing I can do. What do you want me to do? So as part of the presidency that you have been part of, I am interested to hear how you have seen in your campaigns that you do not really articulate about corruption. And I've heard your presentation about the fund, about institutionalization, but I admit that it is coming until late that you too have been dodgy about your agenda about fighting corruption. Is it by default? And if so, what is your pragmatic agenda in tackling corruption under your presidency if you will be elected? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel. And the final question is from Uredo Makoji, which is one about tourism, I believe. Uredo, please go ahead. No? No, Uredo? Okay. Maybe you answer those questions.
Okay. Maybe let me start with Wanyeki. Let me tell Wanyeki, I am a Democrat. And when you are a Democrat, when you participate in a contest and you lose or win, you must accept the outcome of that contest. We went to a referendum. Yes, I mobilized the no vote because I had misgivings about sections, not the whole constitution, sections of that constitution. But when the people of Kenya decided that this is the constitution they want to have, as a Democrat, I had to accept that this now is our document. And I have every right to defend the current constitution because it is the constitution of the Republic of Kenya. And I am a Kenyan. It is a paradox that William Ruto, who had misgivings about sections of the Constitution, today is the defender of the Constitution against the people who pushed for the adoption of the Constitution, who today have become the biggest enemies of the same Constitution. They want to mutilate the same Constitution. And it has to take William Ruto to defend the Constitution of Kenya. Isn't it an irony? I think the people on the other side have more questions to answer than I do. Salome. I quite agree with Salome that we must be even. We are the losers when we exclude women from the leadership of our nation. We have seen the value of women leaders. We have seen the contributions that they make. I have nominated no less than 4 women who have gone ahead to win elections because they've been given a chance to serve. So the more women, the more we provide opportunity for women to participate in leadership, the better for everybody. And that's why, even in the BBI process, I was against getting women from elected positions and making them nominees, of people, their friends, their relatives, their girlfriends, and all the rest of it. We must continuously provide a platform for women to be elected, for them to participate in elective politics. What are we doing? As a party, for every elective post, women pay for nominations half what men pay, as a rule. Number 2, we have made it absolutely clear. It is in the rules of our party that any violence is an automatic ticket to disqualification, especially violence against women. So violence is a no-go zone in our party. Violence against women has the severest consequences because we need to provide the opportunity for women to participate in the leadership of our nation. And going forward, we will support the affirmative action components that ensures that representation progressively until we have parity on matters to do with gender becomes our part of our equation until we get everybody the opportunity to be elected. David, I don't remember what David was asking. Can you remind me, David?
Corruption.
Yes, good. David was asking about the subject of corruption. And precisely, he's captured it very well, that there are so many people who pontificate about the fight against corruption. He said, President Kenyatta at some point said there was nothing he could do. I think that's a question he needs to direct to President Kenyatta. I would not throw up my hands that I have nothing to do. I have something to do. I need to get the criminal justice system to have its own financial independence, give them the capacity, the software, the human capital, the hardware to deal with corruption. I have said that I will roll out the judiciary fund to enable the judiciary to deal with accountability by providing them the human resource, the financial independence, the hardware and software to be able to adjudicate over matters and to deal with corruption cases expeditiously. Part of the lethargy around corruption is because it takes 10 years for a corruption case to be dealt with. Why? Because the whole investigation chain is lethargic, and the judiciary do not have the capacity to fast track because they are constrained financially, because we haven't made it possible for them to have that capacity to deal with matters to do with corruption. I have been very clear in my mind as to why the fight against corruption is top on our priority by institutionalizing the fight against corruption. And it is not going to be something personal between me and my friends or my enemies. It is something between the criminals and the law. And in my very honest opinion, the rest of the people who are giving us long lectures about corruption, it is public knowledge in Kenya that there are people who run a laundry to clean, corrupt people. If you are a corrupt person, you just need to pass through some office, pay some small stipend, and all of a sudden you are a clean person. You have no case to answer. I don't think that's what fighting corruption is all about. I don't think personalizing the fight against corruption so that it is me versus my enemies. That's not how to fight corruption. The way to fight corruption is to build the institutions that can independently deal with the challenge of corruption. One final thing. Willie Mutunga, our former Chief Justice, when he left office, he said the one thing that he was very happy about is that the telephone line never rang with a call from State House. In 4 years that he was Chief Justice, not one day, it never rang. And he was very proud of it, because that's how to keep the independence of institutions and to make sure that every institution does its job. And that's the essence of why the Constitution set up independent institutions to deal with weighty matters like oversight, accountability, and the whole criminal justice system.
Okay, too many hands.